Welcome back, everybody. This is stream number 3, I believe. And I don't actually know how far I am in this game. Let me check. There's no achievements. Oh, there are achievements. I have 0. Great. Alright, well, let's continue on. Let's see here. I actually had to turn down the volume on the game because the last one got content ID'd on Facebook and on YouTube. I think because it had a classical piece in there. So I unfortunately have to turn it down. But I will still continue playing this game. I really like it so far.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Is it that? Dawn Finch. What is this?
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery.
Yeah, I can imagine how
But he withdrew
repetitive.
part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander.
Whoa. Oh, very interesting. See, this is like...
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
This is actually taking a lot of my concentration to do both. I probably don't have to do the fish thing, but...
And toads.
Whoa, this is dope.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head.
Oh, this is so pretty.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Yo, this is fucking dope.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
Oh, this is a lot
I
harder
spoke with
now.
his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
Oh, up, up.
Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
Yeah, why change if you're a good employee?
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Well, that's good. Is it a dog? It's probably a dog.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Oh, he's creating his own world. I don't think that that's so bad.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
He's a genius.
Then he made musicians.
Hey.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something.
That's dope.
Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery.
I imagine it would be
His
very
chopping
difficult.
was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him.
What
All
struck
the
him?
cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished.
Yeah.
He held an election for mayor,
That's like lucid dreaming.
and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Heck yeah.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Yeah. That's cool. Whoop.
St. Louis.
I like it.
He started drifting away from our reality.
I get that. I do that too.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
Oh, what?
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen.
This is cool.
The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents.
It's kind of enacting its own. That's dope. So I'm doing the monotonous thing while also creating, which is what Lewis was going through. That's what I.
The sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
It feels like it's getting harder to keep up.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Heck yeah. If you can create all of this, you are a king.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Man, reality is what you make it. Or I guess how you
My
perceive it.
imagination is as real as my body, he told me. was hard to argue with him.
Oh, it's so jarring.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Oh, I relate though. I think we can all relate.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
And he killed himself?
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Yeah, I hate to say I understand. This is a game I feel like it has a lot to say about mental health.
Including the wise Calico,
And I like
insisted
that.
on embarassing. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oh, just like the fishes.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Oh, it's a hard letter to write for a doctor.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
No, I'm done. No, I don't want to go back in. Sorry. No. Stop. Sorry, pregnant lady, for making you work out. The game auto does that, even though I'm just trying to look around. Oh my goodness. Is it exit somewhere in here? Is that what's trying to tell me? Oh.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Oh, I see. So the game was guiding me.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Now that I'm hearing all of these stories, it is hard. I don't know how you could keep it together. I can't judge or
I
blame.
understand why we left. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Was it a fight?
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Oh, I thought it was a knife. It's... Oh.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Why are you talking about yourself in the third person? Oh, you also have something going on with you.
The thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
What?
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
History of the Finches.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
I can't tell if this is
The
fiction.
first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years.
That's scary.
God, it smelled awful.
That means that there's a tsunami.
I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Oh no.
I got turned around.
Trying my best not to turn
For
around.
a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
Oh man, that's cool. Your mind will do that though.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Is it bed frame?
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but fact that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
She's trying to protect you. I mean, I get
I never
it.
saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone.
We're hidden.
After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it.
I figured that's what it wanted
A
me
few
to do.
years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly.
Oh man.
She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive.
Are you exempt from the curse?
Until I found out about you.
What?
I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
Baby.
But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you
Oh.
and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Oh no. No, no, no.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it.
Oh
It's a lot
no.
to ask,
No.
but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed
Fuck.
that any of us
no.
ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh man. That's what this is? Oh man. That was good. Oh, I like this one. Oh God. Oh God. I did not expect that. I did not expect. Oops. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that was good. Really good game mechanics. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm very impressed with this game. Yeah. I recommend, if you didn't watch this whole thing, to go and play it for yourself because it's amazing. Yeah, cool. I guess I'm gonna get started on the next one, but this was good. It told a story, had really cool game mechanics. Yeah. Oh man. That was a journey. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop this one and then I'll start up the next game already. This one was actually a lot shorter than I thought. I guess pretty close to my usual, about 30 minutes. Alright, good night.